catch your death. Luca said you were asleep.
Oh, I sent her away. I wanted to be alone. The stars are so beautiful. What's the matter?
Good news. There's been a battle.
Hooray!
A battle at Silvanitsa, a victory, and Sergius was the hero of the hour.
Mother, is Father safe?
Oh, of course, he sent the message. Sergius is the idol of his regiment and our hero of the day.
Tell me, how was it? Mother!
Oh, can you guess how splendid it is, Reina? A cavalry charge? Can't you just see it? He headed it himself, defied our Russian commanders, led a charge on his own responsibility, acted without orders. Oh, and was the first to sweep before their guns. Reina, can't you just see it? Our splendid and gallant Bulgarians, their eyes and swords flashing, thundering down like an avalanche. And then scattering those Serbian dandies like so many puffballs. Oh, and you waited a whole year before you would be betrothed to Sergius. If you have a drop of Bulgarian blood left in you, you will worship him when he comes back.
Oh, what will he care for my poor little worship after the acclamations of a whole army of heroes? Oh, but no matter. I'm so happy, so proud.
I'm so happy, so proud.
Well, it came into my head just as he was holding me in his arms and looking into my eyes that perhaps we only had our heroic ideas because we were so fond of reading Byron and Pushkin, and because we were so delighted with the opera that season at Bucharest. Oh, real life is so seldom like that. Indeed, never, as far as I knew it. Only think, Mother, I doubted him. I had an uneasy fear that he might cut a poor figure there beside all those clever Russian officers.
Oh, cut a poor figure indeed. Tutu. Oh, those Serbs have Austrian officers just as clever as our Russian officers, but we have beaten them in every battle for all that.
Yes, I was only a prosaic little coward. Oh, to think that it was all true, that Sergius is just as splendid and noble as he looks, that the world is really a glorious world for women who can see its glory and men who can act its romance. Oh, what happiness! What unspeakable fulfillment!
If you please, madam, all the windows would be closed and the shutters made fast. They say there may be shooting in the streets. The Serbians are being chased right back through the pass, and they say they may run into the town. Our cavalry will be after them, and our people will be ready for them, now that they are running away.
I wish our people were not so cruel. What glory is there in killing wretched fugitives?
I will go downstairs and make sure everything is made safe.
Oh, leave the shutters so that I can just close them if I hear any noise.
You must keep them fastened. You will fall asleep and leave them open. Keep them fast, Luca.
Yes, madam.
Don't be anxious about me. The moment I hear a shot, I shall blow out the candles and roll myself up in bed with my ears well covered.
Quite the wisest decision, my darling. Good night.
Good night. Wish me joy of the happiest night of my life. If only there are no fugitives.
Go to bed. Don't think about them.
If you want the shutters open, you just give them a push, like this. One of the bolts on the bottom is broken, so they don't close all the way.
Thanks, Luca, but we must do what we are told. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, I shall never be unworthy of you anymore, my hero. Oh, never, never, never. My hero. My hero. What's that? Who's there? Who's that?
Don't call out. You'll be shot. Be good. No harm will happen to you. Take care. There's no use in running away. Remember, if you shout out, my pistol will go off. Light a match. Let me see you. Do you hear me? Excuse my disturbing you, but you recognize my uniform, Serbian. If I'm caught, I shall be killed. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Well, I don't intend to be killed if if I can help it. Do you understand that?
I suppose not. Some soldiers I know are afraid of death.
All of them, dear lady, all of them. Believe me, it is our duty to live as long as we can and kill as many of the enemy as we can. Now, if you raise an alarm...
You will shoot me? How do you know that I'm afraid to die?
Ah, but suppose I don't shoot you. What will happen then? Why, a lot of your cavalry, the greatest black guards of your army, will burst in this pretty room of yours and slaughter me here like a pig, for I will fight like a demon. They won't get me into the street to amuse themselves with. I know what they are. Are you prepared to receive that sort of company in your present undress?
Oh,
Rather
no.
scanty, eh? Stop! Where are you going?
Only to get my cloak.
A good idea. Now, I'll keep the cloak, and you take care that nobody comes in and sees you without it. This is a better weapon than a pistol.
Well, it's not the weapon of a gentleman.
It's good enough for a man with only you to stand between them and death. Do you hear? If you're going to bring those scoundrels in on me, you'll receive them as you are. Oh, no use. I'm done for. Quick, wrap yourself. They're coming.
Oh, thank you.
My lady, get dressed, get up quick and open the door.
What will you do?
Never mind. Keep out of the way. It will not last long.
I'll help you. Hide yourself. Hide yourself! No! Behind the curtain!
There's half a chance. If you keep your head, remember, soldiers out of 10 are born fools. If they find me, I promise you I'll fight like a demon.
A man has been seen climbing up your water pipe to your balcony. A Serbian. The soldiers want to search for him, and they are so wild and drunk and furious. Madame says you are to dress at once.
I shall not search here. Why have they been let in?
Reina, are you quite safe? Have you heard anything or seen anyone?
I heard the shooting. Surely the soldiers will not dare come in here.
I have found a Russian officer who knows Sergius, thank God. Sir, come in, my daughter is ready.
Good evening, gracious lady. I am sorry to intrude, but there is a fugitive hiding on the balcony. Will you and the gracious lady, your mother, please to withdraw whilst we search?
Nonsense, sir. You can see that there is no one on the balcony.
Cease firing there, you fool! Do you hear? Cease firing, damn you! Could anyone have got in without your knowledge? Were you asleep?
No, I've not been to bed.
Your neighbors have their heads so full of runaway Serbians that they see them everywhere. Gracious lady, 1,000 pardons. Good night.
Now shave. But a miss as good as a mile, dear young lady. Your servant. Until death. I wish for your sake I had joined the Bulgarian army instead of the Serbian. I'm not Serbian.
No, you're one of the Austrians who set the Serbians on to rob us of our national liberty and who officer their army for them. We hate them.
Austrian, not I. Don't hate me, dear young lady. I am only a Swiss fighting merely as a professional soldier. I joined Serbia because it was nearest me. Be generous. You've beaten us hollow.
Have I not been generous?
Noble, heroic. But I'm not saved yet. This particular rush will soon pass, though. But the pursuit will go on all night by fits and starts. I must take my chance to get off during a quiet interval. You don't mind my waiting here just a minute or two, do you?
Oh no. I'm sorry, you will have to go back into danger again. Won't you?
Ah! Don't frighten me like that. What is it?
Your pistol! It was staring that officer in the face all the time! What an escape!
Is that all?
I'm sorry I frightened you. Pray, take it to protect yourself against me.
No use, dear young lady. There's nothing in it. It's not loaded.
Load it by all means.
I've no ammunition. What good are cartridges in battle? I always carry chocolates instead. Finished the last cake of it yesterday.
Chocolate? Do you stuff your pockets with sweets like a schoolboy, even in the field?
Yes, isn't it contemptible?
Allow me. I'm sorry, but I've eaten them all except these.
Oh, you're an angel. Oh, creams. Oh, delicious. Oh, bless you, dear young lady. You can always tell an old soldier by the inside of the holsters and cartridges boxes. The young ones carry pistols and cartridges. The old ones grub. Oh, thank you. Don't you think so suddenly, gracious lady? Don't revenge yourself because I frightened you just now.
Frighten me? Do you know, sir, that though I am only a woman, I think I am at heart as brave as you.
I should think so. You haven't been under fire for 3 days as I have. I can stand 2 days without showing it much. No man can stand 3 days. I'm as nervous as a mouse. Do you want to see me cry?
No!
Oh, if you would, all you have to do is scold me as if I were a little boy and you my nurse. If I were in camp, they'd play all sorts of tricks on me.
I'm sorry. I won't scold you. You must excuse me. Our soldiers are not like that.
Oh, yes, they are. There are two sorts of soldiers. Old ones and young ones. I've served 14 years. Half of the fellows never smelled powder before. Why, how is it that you've just beaten us? Sheer ignorance of the arts of war, nothing else. I never saw something so unprofessional.
Oh, was it unprofessional to beat you?
Well, come. Is it professional to throw a regiment of cavalry on a battery of machine guns? With the dead certainty that the guns go off, not a horse or a man will go within 50 yards of the fire. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it.
Oh, did you see the great cavalry charge? Tell me about it. Describe it to me.
You never saw a cavalry charge, did you?
Oh, well, how could I?
No, perhaps. Now, of course, well, it's a funny sight. It's like slinging a handful of peas against a window pane. First one comes, then 2 or 3 close behind him, and the rest in a lump.
Oh, yes, first one. The bravest of the brave.
You should see the poor devil pulling at the horse.
Why should he pull at his horse?
It's running away from him, of course. Do you suppose the fellow to get there before the others and be killed? Then they all come. You can tell the young ones by the wildness in their slashing. The old ones come bunched up together under the great number 1 guard. They know they're mere projectiles, and there's no use trying to fight. The wounds are mostly broken knees from the horses cannoning one another.
But I don't believe that first man is a coward. I believe he's a hero.
Well, that's what you would have said if you had seen the first man in the charge today.
I knew it! Tell me about him.
Oh, he did it like an operatic tenor, a regular handsome fellow with flashing eyes and lovely mustache, shouting a war cry and charging like Don Quixote at the windmills. We nearly burst with laughter at him, but when the sergeant ran up white as a sheet and told us that they'd sent us the wrong cartridges and we wouldn't fire a shot for the next 10 minutes, we laughed on the other side of our mouths. I never felt so sick in my life, though I've been in 1 or 2 very tight places and haven't even a revolver cartridge. Nothing but chocolate. Ain't no bayonets. Nothing, of course. They just cut us to bits. And there was Don Quixote, flourishing like a drum major, thinking he'd done the cleverest thing ever known, whereas he ought to be court-martialed for it. Of all the fools ever let loose in a field of battle, the man must be the very maddest. And he and his regiment simply committed suicide, only the pistol missed fire, that's all.
Indeed. Would you know him if you saw him again?
And shall I ever forget him?
This is a photograph of the gentleman, the patriot and hero, to whom I am betrothed.
Oh, I'm really very sorry. Was it fair to lead me on? Yes, that's him. No doubt of it.
Oh, why do you laugh?
I didn't laugh. I assume you... at least I didn't mean to. But when I think of him charging the windmills and thinking he was doing the finest thing...
Well, give me the portrait back, sir.
Of course, certainly. I'm really sorry. Perhaps I'm quite wrong. You know, no doubt I am. It's most likely I got wind of the cartridge business somehow and knew it was a safe job.
That is to say he was a pretender and a coward. You did not dare say that before.
Oh, it's no use, dear lady. I can't make you see it from the professional point of view.
So much the better for you.
How?
You are my enemy, and you are at my mercy. What would I do if I were a professional soldier?
True, dear young lady, you're always right. I know how good you've been to me. To my last hour, I shall remember those 3 chocolate creams. It was unsoldierly, but it was angelic.
Thank you. And now I will do a soldierly thing. You cannot stay here after what you have just said about my future husband, but I will go out on the balcony and see whether it is safe for you to climb down into the street.
Down the water pipe? Stop! Wait, I can't. I daren't even have the thought. It makes me giddy. I came up advanced enough with death behind me, but to face it now in cold blood, it's no use. I give up. I'm beaten. Give up the alarm.
Oh, come, don't be disheartened. Oh, you're a very poor soldier. A chocolate cream soldier. Come, cheer up. It takes less courage to climb down than to face capture. Remember that.
Now, capture only means death, and death is sleep. Oh, sleep. Sleep. Undisturbed sleep. Climbing down the pipe means doing something, exerting myself, thinking. Death 10 times over before that.
You're so sleepy as that.
I've not had 2 hours undisturbed sleep since the war began. I'm on the staff. You know what it means. I haven't closed my eyes for 36 hours.
But what am I to do with you?
Of course, I must do something. You see, sleep or no sleep, hunger or no hunger, tired or not tired, you can always do a thing when you know it must be done. Well, the pipe must be got down. Do you hear that? Chocolate cream soldier!
But if you fall?
I shall sleep as stones were feather. Goodbye.
Stop! They'll kill you.
Never mind that sort of thing. It's all in the day's work. Here, I'm beyond taking a chance. Now, do what I tell you. Put out the candles so that they shan't see the light when I open the shutters, and keep away from the window, whatever you do. If they see me, they're sure to have a shot at me.
Well, they're sure to see you. It's bright moonlight. I'll save you. Oh, how could you be so indifferent? You want me to save you, don't you?
Oh, I really don't want to be troublesome. I'm not indifferent, dear young lady, I assure you, but how is it to be done?
Come away from the window, please. Now listen, you must trust to our hospitality. You do not yet know in whose house you are. I am a pet cough.
What's that?
I mean that I belong to the family of the Petkoffs, the richest and best known in the country.
Oh, yes, of course. I beg your pardon, the Petkoffs. To be sure, how stupid of me.
You know you have never heard of them until this minute. How can you stoop to pretend?
Oh, forgive me. I'm too tired to think, and the change of subject was too much for me. Don't scold me.
Oh, I forgot. It might make you cry. I must tell you that my father holds the highest command of any Bulgarian in our army. He is a major.
A major? Oh, bless me, think of that.
You showed great ignorance in thinking that it was necessary to climb up to the balcony, because ours is the only private house that has 2 rows of windows. There's a flight of stairs inside to get up and down by.
The stairs, how grand. You live in great luxury indeed, dear young lady.
Do you know what a library is?
A library? A room full of books?
Yes, we have one, the only one in Bulgaria.
Oh, actually, a real library. I should like to see that.
I tell you these things to show you that you are not in the house of ignorant country folk who would kill you the moment they saw your Serbian uniform, but among civilized people. We go to Bucharest every year for the opera season, and I've spent a whole month in Vienna.
I saw that once, dear young lady. I saw it once that you knew the world.
Have you ever seen the opera of Ernani?
Is that one with the soldier that's eating delicious chocolate?
No!
Then I don't know it.
I thought you might have remembered the great scene where Ernani, flying from his foes, just as you are tonight, takes refuge in the castle of his bitterest enemy, an old Castilian noble. The noble refuses to give him up. His guest is sacred to him.
Have you people got that notion?
My mother and I can understand that notion, as you call it. And if instead of threatening me with your pistol as you did, you'd had simply thrown yourself as a fugitive on our hospitality, you would have been as safe as in your father's house.
Quite sure?
Oh, it is useless to try and make you understand.
Oh, don't be angry. You must see how awkward it would be for me if there was any mistake. My father's a very hospitable man. He keeps 6 hotels, but I couldn't trust him as far as that. How about your father?
He's away at Slivnitsa, fighting for his country. I answer for your safety. Here's my hand in pledge of it. Will that reassure you?
Oh, better not touch my hand, dear young lady. I must have a watch first.
Oh, that's very nice of you. I see that you are a gentleman.
Eh,
Oh, you must not think I'm surprised. Bulgarians of really good standing, people in our position, wash their hands nearly every day. But I appreciate your delicacy. You may take my hand.
oh, thanks, this gracious young lady. I feel safe at last. And now, would you mind breaking the news to your mother? I had better not stay here secretly longer than necessary.
If you will be so good as to keep perfectly still whilst I am away.
Certainly.
You're not going to sleep, are you?
You're not falling asleep? No, the least in the world. I'm only thinking it. All right, I'm wide awake.
Will you please stand up while I am away?
Certainly. Certainly, you may depend on me. Sleep. Sleep. Oh, sleep. Where am I? No. That's what I want to know. Where am I? Let's keep awake. Nothing keeps me awake except danger. Remember that. Danger! 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 Danger. Where's danger? Where can I find it? What am I looking for? Sleep. Danger. Oh, I know. I'll find it right after a quick little nap.
He's gone. I left him.
Well, then he must have climbed down.
Oh! What?
Oh, the brute asleep. Oh, sir. 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 Sir!
The poor thing.
The poor thing. Oh, Raina. We're waiting for you.
Be warned, Luca. Mend your manners. I know the mistress. She is so grand that she never dreams that any servant could dare to be disrespectful to her. But if she once suspects that you are defying her, out you go.
I will defy her. I do defy her. What do I care for her?
If you quarrel with the family, I never can marry you. It's the same as if you quarreled with me.
So you take her part against me, do you?
I shall always be dependent on the goodwill of the family. When I leave their service and start a shop in Sofia, their custom will be half my capital. Their bad word would ruin me.
You have no spirit, Nicola. I should like to see them dare say a word against me.
I should have expected more sense from you, Luca. But you're a modern woman.
And you like me all the better for it, don't you? Still, I know some family secrets they wouldn't care to have told, modern as I am. Let them quarrel with me if they dare.
Do you know what they would do if they heard you talk like that?
What could they do?
Discharge you for untruthfulness? Who would believe any stories you told after that? Who would give you another situation? Who in this house would dare be seen speaking to you ever again? How long would your father be left on his little farm? Child, you don't know the power such high people have over the like of you and me when we try to rise out of our poverty against them. Take a look at me. 10 years in their service. Do you think I know no secrets? I know things about the mistress that she wouldn't have the master know for 1,000 levas. I know things about him that she wouldn't let him hear the last of for 6 months if I blabbed them to her. I know things about Reina that would break off her mattress Sergius.
How do you know? I never told you.
Ah, so that's your little secret, is it? I thought it might be something like that. Well, you take my advice and be respectful and make the mistress feel that no matter what you know or don't know, they can depend on you to hold your tongue and serve the family faithfully. That's what they like, and that's how you will make most out of them.
You have the soul of a servant, Nicola.
Yes, that's the secret of success in service.
Hello there, Nicola!
Off with you and get some fresh coffee.
You shall never put the soul of a servant in me.
Breakfast out here, huh?
Yes, sir. The mistress and Miss Reina have just gone in.
Well, go and say that I've come in and bring me some fresh coffee.
It's coming, sir. I told the mistress.
Yes.
Well, the Serbians haven't run away with you now, have they?
No, sir.
That's right. Have you brought me some cognac?
Sir?
Yes. That's right.
Oh, Paul! Oh, what a surprise! Have they brought you fresh coffee?
Yes, Luca's been taking care of me. The war is over. The treaty was signed 3 days ago in Bucharest, and the decree for our army to dissolve was issued yesterday.
The war over?
So,
Paul, have you let those Austrians talk you into making peace?
my dear, they didn't consult me. What could I do? We made sure the treaty was an honorable one. It declares peace, but not friendly relations. Remember that. They wanted to put that in, but I insisted on its being struck out. But what more could I do?
You could have annexed Serbia and made Prince Alexander Emperor of the Balkans. That's what I would have done.
I don't doubt that in the slightest, my dear. But then I should have had to subdue the entire Austrian Empire, and that would have kept me far too long away from you. I missed you greatly. And how have you been, my dear?
Just my usual sore throat.
That comes from washing your neck every morning. I've often told you so.
Nonsense, Paul.
I don't believe in going too far with these modern customs. All that washing can't be good for the health. It's not natural. There was an Englishman at Philippopolis. used to wet himself with cold water all over his body every morning when he got up. Disgusting. It all comes from the English. Their climate makes them so dirty they have to be perpetually washing themselves. Look at my father. Never had a bath in his life. Lived to be 98, the healthiest man in Bulgaria. I don't mind a good wash once a week to keep up my position, but every day is taking the thing to a ridiculous extreme.
Paul, you are still a barbarian at heart. I hope you behaved yourself before our Russian officers.
Oh, I did my best. I took care to let them know that we had a library.
But you didn't tell them that we have an electric bell. In the library, I had one put up.
What's an electric bell?
You push a button, something tinkles in the kitchen, Nicola comes on!
Why not just shout for him?
No, Paul. Civilized people don't shout for their servants. I learned that while you were away.
But I'll tell you something I learned while I was away. Civilized people don't leave their laundry to hang where visitors can see it. You'll have to have this put away somewhere.
Oh, that's absurd, Paul. Really refined people don't notice things like that.
That's Sergius. Nicola!
Don't shout, Paul! It's not nice!
Oh, bosh! Nicola! Yeah. If that's Major Saranoff, bring him round here.
Yes, sir.
You must speak to him, Catherine. He bores my life out about our not promoting him. Over my head, mind you.
Surely he will be promoted once he marries our Reina. Besides, the country should insist on having at least one native general.
Yeah, so he can throw away entire brigades instead of just a regiment. It's no use, my dear. He's not the slightest chance of promotion until we're quite sure that the peace is a lasting one.
Major Sergius Saranov.
Sergius, here already. Good to see you.
Dear Sergius.
My dear mother, if I may call you so.
Mother-in-law, Sergius. Mother-in-law, now sit down and have some coffee.
None for me, thank you.
But Sergius, you look splendid. The campaign has improved you. Oh, the people were mad about you. Everyone was wild with enthusiasm about your magnificent cavalry charge.
Madam, it was the cradle and the grave of my military reputation.
How so?
I won the battle the wrong way, while our worthy Russian generals were losing it the right way. That upset their plans and wounded their self-esteem. 2 of their colonels had their regiments driven back on the correct principles of scientific warfare. Then 2 of their major generals got killed, strictly according to military etiquette. Those 2 colonels are now major generals, and I'm still a simple major.
You shall not remain so for long. The women are with you. We will see to it that justice is done you.
It's too late. I've only waited for the peace to send in my resignation.
Your resignation?
You must withdraw it.
I never withdraw.
Well, who could have supposed you would do such a thing?
Everyone that knew me? But enough of myself and my affairs. How is Reina? Where is Reina?
Reina, it's here.
Here it is. Oh, she always appears at the right moment.
She listens for it. It's an abominable habit.
Oh, dear father, welcome home.
Oh, my little pet girl.
So, Sergius, you are no longer a soldier.
I am no longer a soldier. Soldiering is the coward's art of attacking mercilessly when you are strong and keeping out of harm's way when you are weak. That's the whole secret of successful fighting. Get your enemy at disadvantage and never, on any account, fight him on equal terms.
They wouldn't let us make a fair stand-up fight out of it. However, I suppose that soldiering needs to be a trade like any other trade.
Precisely. But I have no ambition to succeed as a tradesman, which is why I've taken the advice of that foolish bagman of a captain who helped us settle the exchange of prisoners at Pirot and given it up.
You mean that Swiss fellow? I've often thought of that exchange. He overreached us about those horses.
Of course he overreached us. His father was a hotel and livery stable keeper. He owed his first step to his success of, horse dealing. He was a soldier. Every inch of a soldier. If only I had invested my money into the horses of my regiment instead of leading it into danger, I'd be a field marshal by now.
What was a Swiss doing in the Serbian army?
A volunteer, of course, keen on picking up his profession. Well, we shouldn't have known how to begin fighting if those foreigners hadn't shown us how to do it. Well, we knew nothing about it, and neither did the Serbians. Egad, there'd have been no war without them.
Were there many Swiss officers in the Serbian army?
No, all Austrians, just as our officers were all Russians. That was the only Swiss I came across. I'll never trust a Swiss again. He cheated us and humbugged us into giving him 50 able-bodied men in exchange for 200 confounded, worn-out chargers that weren't even eatable.
We were but 2 children in the hands of that consummate soldier, Major. 2 little children.
Well, what was he like?
Silly question.
He was like a commercial traveler in uniform. Bourgeois to his boots.
Sergius, tell them that queer tale his friend told us, how he escaped after Slivnitzer. You remember how he was hid by 2 women.
Ah, yes, quite a romance. He was serving in the very battery I so unprofessionally charged. Thorough soldier that he was, he ran away like the rest of them, with our cavalry at his heels. To escape their attentions, he had the good taste to take refuge in the chamber of some patriotic young Bulgarian lady. She was fascinated by his commercial traveler's charm, and then she very modestly entertained him for an hour or so. And then she called her mother in, lest her conduct seem unmaidenly. And even the old lady was equally fascinated with him and sent the fugitive away in an old coat belonging to the master of the house, who was away at the war.
Your lightning cap has made you coarse, Sergius. I did not think you would repeat such a story before me.
Raina is right. If such women exist, we should be spared the knowledge of them.
Oh, pooh, the nonsense. What difference does it make?
No, Petkov, I was wrong. I behaved abominably. Raina, forgive me. And you too, madam. The things I've seen of the seamy side of life in the past few months have made me cynical. But I should not have brought my cynicism here, least of all, instead of in front of you, Raina.
Oh, stuff and nonsense, Sergius. There's quite enough fuss about nothing. A soldier's daughter should be able to stand without flinching to a little strong conversation. But come, we need to get down to business. We need to figure out how to get those 3 regiments back to Philippopolis. There's no forage for them on the Sophia route. Come along.
No, Paul, can't you spare Sergius for just a few moments? He's hardly had any time with Raina. Perhaps I can help you with those regiments.
Madam, impossible. You mustn't trouble yourself.
Oh, you stay. There's no hurry. I have a few words to say to Paul. Come, Paul. Let me show you the electric bell.
Am I forgiven?
Oh, my hero, my king.
Oh, my queen.
Oh, how I've envied you, Sergius. You've been out in the world, in the field of battle, able to prove yourself worthy of any woman. In the world, whilst I've had to sit at home, inactive, dreaming, useless, doing nothing that could give me the right to call myself worthy of any man.
My lady, all my deeds have been yours. I've been away at the war like a knight in a tournament with this lady looking on at you.
And you've never been absent from my thoughts for a moment, Sergius. I think we too have found the higher love. And when I think of you, I feel that I can never do a base deed or think an ignoble thought.
My lady, my saint.
Oh, my Lord and my God.
Oh no, it is I who should be the worshiper, for you little know how unworthy even the best man is of a girl's pure passion.
Oh, I trust you. I love you. You never disappoint me, Sergius. Oh, hush. I can't pretend to talk indifferently before her. My heart is too full. Wait right here. I will go and get my hat, and then we can go out till lunchtime. Wouldn't you like that?
Be gone not 5 minutes. It will feel 5 hours. Luca,
Yes?
do you know what the higher love is?
No, sir.
Oh, very fatiguing thing to keep up for any length of time. One feels the need for some relief after.
Perhaps you would like some coffee, sir.
Thank you, Luca.
Oh, no, sir. You know I didn't mean that. I'm surprised at you.
I'm surprised at myself, Luca. What would Sergius, the hero of Slivnitsa, say if he saw me now? What would Sergius, the apostle of the higher love, say if he saw me now? What would the half-dozen Sergii who keep flowing in and out of this handsome figure of mine say if they saw us here? Luca, you do find me handsome, don't you? I'm very handsome. You like my handsomeness with my pointy shoulders and handsomeness?
Sir, will you let me go? I shall be disgraced.
No.
Oh, will you let me go?
No.
Then stand back where we can't be seen. You know common sense. I may have been seen from the window. Miss Rena's sure to be spying about after you.
Ha! Oh, I may be worthless enough to betray the higher love, but don't you insult it.
Not for the world, sir, I'm sure. May I go back to my work now, please?
You're a provoking little witch, Luca. Tell me, if you were in love with me, would you be spying out the windows on me?
Well, you see, sir, since you say you are half a dozen different gentlemen all at once, I should have a great deal to look after.
Oh, witty as well as pretty.
No, I don't want your kisses. You genteel folk are all alike. You making love to me behind Miss Rena's back, and she doing the same behind yours.
Oh,
Shows
Luca!
how little you really care.
This conversation is to continue, Luca. You'll remember that a gentleman does not discuss the conduct of the lady he is engaged to with her maid.
It's so hard to know what a gentleman considers right. I thought from your trying to kiss me just now, you had given up being so particular.
Devil. Devil!
Oh, now I know at least one of the six of you is very much like me, though I am only Miss Rena's maid.
Which of the six of us is the real man? That's the question that torments me. One of them is a hero, and another is a... Another one's a buffoon. One of us is a humbug, perhaps a bit of a blackguard, and one of us, at least, is a coward, jealous, like all cowards. Luca,
Yes?
who is my rival?
You shall never get that from me for love or money.
Why?
Never mind why. Besides, you would tell that I told, and I should lose my place.
No, on the honor of a man who's behaved as I have for the last 5 minutes, please tell me, who is he?
I don't know. I've never seen him. I just heard his voice through the door of her room.
Oh, damnation! How dare you!
I mean no harm. You have no right to take my words up like that. Besides, the mistress knows all about it, and I tell you now, if that gentleman ever comes here again, Miss Rena will marry him, whether he likes it or not. I know the sort of manner you and she put on before one another. It's so different from the real manner.
You listen to me, wench. From the plague-ridden dark ages, czar's handmaiden, reticent mistress, ready and writhing at your own temptation, yet relinquished by a yearning to be touched by royal fingers. You are refuse, only worthy of the flies clinging to Catherine's linens, which you assuredly forgot to stow away. This house is saturated with your embarrassment, Delilah.
Oh, you hurt me.
That doesn't matter. You have stained my honor by making me a party to your eavesdropping.
Oh, please.
That shows that you're an abominable little clod of common clay, with the soul of a servant.
You know how to hurt with your tongue as well as with your hands. But I don't care. For whatever common clay I'm made of, you're made of the same. As for her, she's a liar, and her fine airs are a cheat. I'm worth 6 of her.
Luca, wait. A gentleman hasn't the right to hurt a woman under any circumstance. I beg your pardon.
That sort of apology may satisfy a lady. Of what use is it to a servant?
So you wish to be paid for your hurt?
No! I want my hurt made well.
How? Never.
I'm ready. What's the matter? You've been flirting with Luca?
No! No. Why would you say such a thing?
Oh, forgive me, dear. It was only a jest. I'm just so happy today.
My children, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Paul is distracted over those 3 regiments. He cannot figure out how to get them back to Philippopolis. Oh, and he won't take my advice at all. Sergius, you must go and help him. He's in the library.
But we were just going out for a walk.
Oh, it won't be but 5 minutes.
I shall go round and wait in full view of the library windows. Be sure you draw Father's attention to me. If you are a moment longer than 5 minutes, I shall go in and fetch you, regiments or no regiments.
Farewell.
Great. To think, him meeting up with the Swiss and hearing the whole story, and then the first thing your father asks for is that old coat that we sent him away in. A nice mess you've gotten us into.
The little beast!
Oh, little beast? What little beast?
Oh, to go and tell! Oh, if I had him here, I'd stuff him with chocolate creams till he couldn't ever speak again!
Don't talk nonsense. Tell me, how long was he in your room before you came to me?
Oh, I forget.
You can't forget! Did he climb down after the soldiers left, or was he there when the officers searched your room?
No.
No.
Yes? I think he must have been there then.
No. Rena, you think? Will anything ever make you more straightforward? If Sergius finds out, it's all over between you.
Oh, I know Sergius is your pet. I sometimes wish you could marry him instead of me. You would just suit him. You would spoil him and pet him and mother him to perfection.
Upon my word!
I always feel a longing to do or say something dreadful to him, to shock his propriety, to scandalize the 5 senses out of him. I don't care whether he finds out about the chocolate cream soldier or not. I have hope he may.
Oh, you! And what shall I tell your father, pray?
Oh, poor father! As if he could help himself.
Oh, if you were only 10 years younger. Well?
Gentleman just called, madam. A Serbian officer.
A Serbian? How dare he? Oh, I forget. We're at peace. So we should expect them to be calling every day to pay their compliments. If he is an officer, send him to your master. He is in the library with Major Saranoff. Why do you come to me?
Because he asked for you, madam. And I don't think he knows who you are. He said the lady of the house. He gave me this little, ticket for you.
Captain Blunchley. That's a German name.
Madam, I believe it's Swiss.
Swiss? What does he look like?
He has a big carpet bag with him.
Oh, he's come to return the coat. Send him away. Tell him we're not at home. No. Get his address. Tell him I'll write. Wait. Stop. That will never do. The master and Major Saranoff are in the library, are they not?
Yes, madam.
Bring him to me at once. Be very polite. Don't delay. Wait here. Leave that here. Go straight back to him. But stop! Is the library door shut?
I think so, madam.
If not, shut it as you pass through.
Yes, madam.
Stop! This way, that way, this is by far the shortest way. Tell Nicola to bring his bag up here after him. Don't forget.
Bag?
As soon as possible. Don't delay. Go quick, 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 quick. Oh, that fool. Oh, what a moment to select.
Captain Blunchley.
Oh. Captain Blunchley, it is so good of you to come by. But you must understand, you must leave at once. The master and my future son-in-law have just returned. If they were to find out anything, it would be terrible. You are a foreigner. You do not feel our national animosities as we do. We still hate the Serbs. The only effect of the peace upon my husband is to make him feel like a lion balked of his prey. If he were to find out our secret, he would never forgive me, and my daughter's life would never be safe. If you would please, like the chivalrous gentleman and soldier that you are, if you would leave at once before he finds you here.
Oh, at once, gracious lady. I only came to thank you and return the coat you lent me. If you'll allow me to take it out of my bag and leave it with your servant as I pass out, I need detain you no further.
This is by far the shortest way out. It's so good to have been of service to you. Goodbye.
Yes, but my bag.
Oh, your bag. It will be sent on. You will leave me your address.
Oh, true. Allow me.
My dear Captain Blunchley! Were these stupid people of mine thought I was in here instead of in the library? I saw you through the window and wondered why they didn't bring you in. Serenoff is here. You remember him, don't you?
Welcome, our friend.
An enemy? No longer the enemy, happily. Well, I do hope you've come on friendship and not on business.
Quite as a friend. I was just inviting Captain Blunchley to stay to lunch, but he insists he must go at once.
Nonsense. We want you here badly. We have to send 3 regiments to Philippopolis, and we haven't the slightest idea how to do it.
Oh, Philippopolis, the forge is in trouble, eh?
That's it. He sees the whole thing at once.
I think I could show you how to manage that.
Valuable man, come along.
Oh, the chocolate cream soldier.
Raina, we have a new guest, Captain Blunchley, one of our Serbian friends.
How silly of me. I made a beautiful ornament this morning for the ice pudding, and that stupid Nicola, he put a pile of plates on it and spoiled it. I hope that you didn't think you were the chocolate cream soldier, Captain Blunchley.
I assure you I did, but your explanation was a relief.
And when, pray, have you taken up cooking?
While you were away, Paul, it's her latest fancy.
Oh, well, yes, but I would think that Nicola must have taken up drinking. Well, he used to be careful enough, but first he shows Captain Blunchley out here when he knows I'm in the library, and then he goes downstairs and breaks Raina's chocolate soldier. Why, he must have... What have you brought that for?
My lady's orders, sir.
My orders? Why would you bring Captain Blunchley's luggage up here, Nicola? Are you out of your
My
mind?
fault, madame. I hope
Well, you might as well take that down and drop it and break Raina's ice pudding! Oh, you be gone, you butterfinger donkey! Oh, that scoundrel! He's gotten out of hand since I've been gone. I'll show...
Shouting.
Excuse me, Captain Blunchley. Well, that's enough nonsense about your having to go. We know very well you don't have to go back to Switzerland yet, and until you do go, we insist on your staying here.
Oh, do, Captain Blunchley.
Catherine, it's of you he's afraid. If you press him, he'll stay.
I would be only too delighted if Captain Blunchley wishes to stay. He knows my wishes.
No. At my madam's orders.
Well, then that settles it.
Well, of course.
You see, you must stay.
Well, if I must, I must.
sure I can't help you in any way, Blunchley.
Quite sure, thank you, sir. Not when I will manage it.
Oh, yes, Petkoff will manage. He comes up with what to do, draws up the orders, and I sign them. Division of labor, eh, Major? Oh, another one. This hand is more accustomed to the sword than the pen.
It's very good of you, Blunchley. It is indeed to allow yourself to be put out this way. Are you quite sure that I can do nothing?
Paul, you can stop interrupting.
Yes, quite right, my love. Quite right. Oh, Catherine, you haven't been campaigning. You don't know how pleasant it is for us to sit here after having a good lunch with nothing to do but enjoy ourselves. But there's only one thing I need to make me thoroughly comfortable.
What is that, Paul?
Yeah, my old coat. I don't feel at home in this one. I feel as if I'm on parade.
Oh, Paul, how silly you are about that old thing. I'm sure it's in the blue closet where you left it.
My dear, I tell you that I've looked there. Am I to believe my eyes or not? Oh, there you go, showing off with that bell. My dear, if you think that the obstinacy of your sex can make a coat out of two of Raina's old dressing gowns, your Macintosh and my waterproof, you are wrong. And that's exactly what the blue closet contains at present.
Nicola, will you go to the blue closet and fetch your master's old coat? The braided one that he likes to wear around the house.
Yes, madam.
Catherine.
Yes, Paul.
I'll bet you any piece of jewelry you want in Sophia against a week's housekeeping money that the coat isn't there.
Done, Paul.
Oh, good. Here's a chance for some sport. Who'll take a bet? What do you say, Blunchley? I'll give you 6 to 1.
It would be robbing you, Major. Madam is sure to be right.
Oh.
Bravo, Switzer. I bet my best charger gets an Arab mare for Raina that Nicola finds the coat in the blue closet.
Your best!
Don't be foolish, Paul. That Arabian mare is going to cost you 50,000 levas.
Really, Mother? If you're going to take the jewelry, I don't see why you should grudge me my Arab mare.
No. Where was it, Nicola?
Hanging in the blue closet.
Lord, it wasn't there. Age is beginning to tell on me. I'm getting hallucinations. Help me to change. Excuse me, Blunchley. Yes, I looked in that closet. I'm quite sure. Yes, remember, Sergius, I did not take you up on that bet regarding the Arab Although I suspect you'll have to go ahead and give Raina the Arab stallion now that you've raised her expectations. Hey, Raina? Dreaming as usual.
Assuredly, she will not be the loser.
All the better for her, I suppose, although I don't think that I shall get off so cheaply. Now I feel thoroughly at home.
That's the last order.
No,
Anything else for me to sign?
finished, huh? Well, I think we've done a thundering good day's work. Can I do anything more?
Not necessary. His signature will do. You better both see the fellows that are to take these, pack them off at once, and show them that I've marked the orders, the time they should hand them in by. Tell them that if they stop to drink or tell stories, if they're 5 minutes late, they'll have skins taken off their backs.
Yes, and if one of them is man enough to spit in my face for insulting him, I shall buy him a discharge and grant him a pension.
Just see that he talks to them properly, Major, will you?
Yes, quite right. Blunchley, I will see to it. By the by, Catherine, perhaps you'd better come along. I think they'll be more afraid of you than they are of me.
Perhaps I'd better. You'll only splutter at them.
What a country. They make cannons out of cherry trees, and officers send for their wives to keep discipline.
You look ever so much nicer than when we last met.
Oh.
What have you done to yourself?
Washed, brushed, good night's sleep, and breakfast, that's all.
Did you get back safely that morning?
Oh, quite, thanks.
Were they angry with you for running away from Sergius's charge?
No, they were glad because they had all run away themselves.
Well, it must have been a lovely story for them, all about me in my room.
Capital story, but I only told it to one of them, a particular friend.
On whose discretion you could absolutely rely?
Absolutely.
Well, he told it all to my father and Sergius the day that you exchanged the prisoners.
No, you don't mean that, do you?
I do indeed. But they don't know what it was in this house that you hid. If Sergius knew, he would challenge you and kill you in a duel.
Bless me then, don't tell him.
Can you realize what it is for me to deceive him? I want to be quite perfect with Sergius. No meanness, no smallness, no deceit. My relation to him is the one really beautiful and noble part of my life. I hope you can understand that.
You mean you wouldn't like him to find out that the story about the ice pudding was a little, you know what I mean.
Don't talk of it in that flippant way. I lied, and I know it. But I did it to save your life. He would have killed you. That was the second time I ever uttered a falsehood. Do you remember the first time?
I? No, was I present?
Yes, and I told the officer who was searching for you that you were not present.
True, I should have remembered that.
Oh, it is natural that you should forget it first. It cost you nothing. It cost me a lie. A lie!
My dear young lady, don't let this worry you. Remember, I'm a soldier. Now, what are the two things that happen in a soldier so often he comes to think nothing of them? One is hearing people's lies. The other is getting the life saved in all sorts of ways by all sorts of people.
And so he becomes a creature incapable of faith and of gratitude?
Do you like gratitude? I don't. If pity is akin to love, gratitude is akin to the other thing.
Gratitude? If you are incapable of gratitude, you are incapable of any noble sentiment. Even animals are grateful. Oh, I see now exactly what you think of me. You were not surprised to hear me lie? To you it was probably something I did every day, every hour. That is how men think of women.
There's reason in everything. You said you only told 2 lies in your whole life? Dear young lady, isn't that rather a short allowance? I'm quite straightforward man myself, but it wouldn't last me a whole morning.
Do you know, sir, that you are insulting me?
Oh, I can't help it. When you get into that noble attitude and speak in that thrilling voice, I admire you, but I find it impossible to believe a single word you say.
Captain Blunchley!
Yes?
Do you know what you just said just now? Do you mean what you just said?
Oh, I do.
Oh, how did you find me out?
Instinct, dear young lady, instinct and experience of the world.
Do you know, you are the first man I ever met who did not take me seriously?
You mean, don't you, that I'm the first man that has ever taken you very seriously?
Yes, I suppose I do mean that. How strange it is to be talked to in such a way. You know, I've always gone on like that. I mean, the noble attitude and the thrilling voice. I did it when I was a tiny child to my nurse. She believed in it. I do it before my parents. They believe in it. I do it before Sergius, and he believes in it.
Oh, yes, he's a little in that line himself, isn't he?
Do you think so?
You know him better than I do.
I wonder, is he, if I thought that... Well, what does it matter? I suppose now that you found me out, you despise me.
No, my dear young lady, no, 1,000 times. It's part of your youth, part of your charm. Unlike the rest of them, the nurse, your parents, Sergius, I am your infatuated admirer.
Really?
Hans of Hers, really and truly.
But what did you think of me for giving you my portrait?
Your portrait? You never gave me your portrait.
Do you mean to say you never got it?
No, when did you send it to me?
I did not send it to you. It was in the pocket of that coat.
Oh. Well, I never found it. It must still be there.
There still? For my father to find the first time he puts his hand in his pocket? Oh, how could you be so stupid?
It doesn't matter. It's only a photograph. How can he tell who it was intended for? Tell him he put it there himself.
Yes, that is so clever. So clever. What shall I do?
Ah, I see. You wrote something on it. That was rash.
To think I would have done a thing for you, who cared no more except to laugh at me. Are you sure nobody's touched it?
Well, I can't be quite sure. You see, I couldn't carry it about me all the time. One can't take much luggage on active service. When I got through to P-Rod, I had to put it in safekeeping somehow. I thought of the railway cloakroom, but That's the surest place to get looted in modern warfare, so I pawned it.
Pawned it?
Yes. I know it doesn't sound nice, but it was much the same as planned. I redeemed it the day before yesterday. Heaven only knows whether the pawnbroker cleared out the pockets or not.
You have a low shopkeeping mind. You think of things that would never come into a gentleman's head.
That's the Swiss national character, dear lady.
Oh, I wish I never met you.
For you. The messenger is waiting.
Will you excuse me? The last postal delivery reached me 3 weeks ago. These are the subsequent accumulations. 4 telegrams a week. Oh. Bad news.
Bad news.
My father's dead.
Oh. Well, how very sad.
Yes, I have to start for home in an hour. He's left a lot of big hotels behind to be looked after. Here's a whacking letter from the family solicitor. Good heavens! 70? 200? 400? 4,000? 9,600? What on earth shall I do with them all?
9,000 hotels?
Oh, hotels nonsense. If you only knew. It's all too ridiculous. Excuse me. I must give my fellows orders about the start.
He has not much heart, that Swiss. Though he's so fond of the Serbians, he doesn't have one word of grief for his poor father.
Grief? A man who's been doing nothing but killing people for years? What does he care? What does any soldier care?
But Major Sarno's been fighting too, and he's had plenty of heart left. Thought you wouldn't get much feeling out of your soldier.
I've been waiting all the afternoon to get a minute alone with you, my girl. Come, don't be so contrary with me. I have some good news for you. See, a 20-leva bill. Sergius gave me that out of pure swagger. A fool and his money are soon parted. There's 10 levas more. The Swiss gave me that for backing up the mistresses and Reina's lies about him. He's no fool, he isn't. Oh, you should have heard old Catherine downstairs, as polite as you pleased to me, telling me not to mind the major being a little impatient, for they knew what a good servant I was after making a fool and a liar of me before them all. The 20 will go to our savings, and you shall have the 10 to spend if you'll only talk to me so as to remind me I'm a human being. I get tired of being a servant occasionally.
Yes. Sell your manhood for 30 levas and buy me for 10? Keep your money. You were born to be a servant. I was not. When you set up shop, you will only be everybody's servant instead of somebody's servant.
Ah, wait till you see. We shall have our evenings to ourselves, and I shall be master in my own house, I promise you.
You shall never be master in mine.
You have a great ambition in you, Luca. Remember, if any luck comes to you, it was I that made a woman of you.
You?
Yes, me! Who was it made you give up wearing a couple of pounds of false black hair on your head and reddening your lips and cheeks like any other Bulgarian girl? I did! Who taught you to trim your nails and keep your hands clean and be dainty about yourself like a fine Russian lady? Me! Do you hear? That's me! Oh, I've often thought that if Reina were out of the way, and you just a little less of a fool, and Sergius just a little more of one, you might come to be one of my grandest customers, instead of only being my wife and costing me money.
I believe you'd rather be my servant than my husband. I know that soul of yours.
Never you mind my soul, but just listen to my advice. If you want to be a lady, your present behavior to me won't do at all. It's too sharp and impudent. And don't you try being high and mighty with me either. You're like all country girls. You think it's genteel to treat a servant the way I treat a stable boy. That's only your ignorance, and don't you forget it. And don't be so ready to defy everybody. Act as if you expected to have your own way, not as if you expected to be ordered about. The way to get on as a lady is the same as the way to get on as a servant. You've got to know your place. That's the secret of it. And you may depend on me to know my place if you get promoted. Think over it, my girl. I'll stand by you. One servant should always stand by another.
Oh, I must behave in my own way. You take all the courage out of me with your cold-blooded wisdom. Go, put those logs on the fire. That's the sort of thing you understand.
On the way of your work, I hope.
Oh, no, sir. Thank you kindly. I was only speaking to this foolish girl about her habit of running up here to the library whenever she gets the chance to look at the books. That's the worst of her education, sir. It gives her habits above her station. Make that tidy, Luca, for the major.
How's your nose? Does it hurt?
Yes.
Shall I cure it?
No, you cannot cure it now.
Quite sure.
Don't trifle with me. An officer should not trifle with a servant.
That was no trifle, Luca.
No. Are you sorry?
I'm never sorry.
I wish I could believe a man were so unlike a woman as that. Tell me, are you truly a brave man?
Yes, I am a brave man. Though my heart jumped like a woman's at the first shot. But in the charge, I found that I was brave.
Did you find in the charge that those men whose fathers were poor like mine were any less brave than those who were rich like yours?
Not a bit. They all slashed and cursed and yelled like heroes. But the courage to rage and kill is cheap. I have an English bull terrier with as much of that sort of courage as the whole Bulgarian nation with the Russian nation at its back. You should have seen your soldiers. It's them all over. They put up with officers' insults and blows. They stand by and see them punished like children and help to do it when they're ordered. And the officers. Oh, I'm an officer! Oh, give me a man who will defy to the death any power on earth or in heaven that sets itself up against his own will and conscience, and he alone is the brave man.
How easy it is to talk. Men never seem to me to grow up. They all have schoolboy ideas. You don't know what true courage is.
I'm willing to be instructed.
Look at me. How much am I allowed to have my own will? I have to get your room ready for you. To sweep and dust and fetch and carry. How does that degrade me if it doesn't degrade you to have it done for you? But if I were the Empress of Russia, above everyone in the world, then, though according to you I could show no courage at all, you should see. You should see.
And what would you do, most noble Empress?
I would marry the man I loved, which no other queen in Europe has the courage to do. If I loved you, though you'd be as far beneath me as I am beneath you now, I would dare to be the equal to my inferior. Would you do as much if you loved me? No. If you felt the beginnings of love for me, you would not let it grow. You dare not. You would marry a rich man's daughter because you'd be afraid of what people would say of you.
You lie, by all the stars. If I loved you and I were the Tsar himself, I'd set you on the throne by my side. But you know I'm in love with another woman. A woman as high above you as heaven is above earth. You're jealous of her.
I have no reason to be. She will never marry you now. The gentleman I told you of has come back. She will marry the Swiss.
Oh. The Swiss?
A man worth 10 of you. And then you can come for me and I will refuse you. You're not good enough for me.
You expect me to believe that she, whose worst thoughts are higher than your best ones, is capable of trifling with another man behind my back?
Do you think she would believe the Swiss if he told her that I was in your arms?
Damnation. Oh, damnation. Mockery, mockery everywhere. Everything I think is mocked by everything I do. Coward, liar. Fool! Shall I kill myself like a man? Or live and learn to laugh at myself? Remember, Luca, you belong to me.
What does that mean? An insult?
It means that you love me, and that I've had you here in my arms, and perhaps I will have you there again. Whether it is an insult or I don't care. If I loved you, I dare marry you, despite all of Bulgaria. Luca, if these hands ever touch you again, they shall touch my affianced bride.
Well, we shall see if you dare keep your word. But take care. I will not wait long.
And you shall wait, my pleasure. You shall wait, my pleasure.
That's a remarkably looking young woman.
Captain Blunchley,
Eh?
you are my rival. You've deceived me. I brook no rivals. At 6 o'clock, I shall be at the drilling grounds on Clasor Road, alone, on horseback, with my saber. Do you understand?
Oh, thank you. That's a cavalryman's proposal. I'm in the artillery, and I shall have my choice of weapons. If I have a go, I shall take a machine gun. And there shall be no mistake about the cartridges this time.
Take care, sir. It's not the custom in Bulgaria to allow such invitations to be trifled with.
Pooh, don't talk to me about Bulgaria. You don't know what fighting is. You have it your own way. Bring a saber along, I'll meet you.
Well said, Switzer. Shall I lend you my best horse?
No, damn your horse. Thank you all the same. My dear fellow, I shall fight you on foot. Horseback's too dangerous. I don't want to kill you if I can help it.
I heard what Captain Blunchley said, Sergius. You're going to fight? Why?
I don't know. He hasn't told me. Better not interfere, dear young lady. No harm will be done. I've often acted as a sword instructor. He won't be able to touch me, and I'll not hurt him. It'll save explanations. In the morning, I shall be off home, and you'll never see or hear of me again. You shall two make up and live happily ever after.
Never said I wanted to see you again.
Ha! That's a confession.
What do you mean?
You love that man.
Sergius!
You allow him to make love to you behind my back, just as you take me as your affianced husband behind his. And you, Blunchley, you knew our relations and you deceived me. It is for that I call you to account, not for having received favors that I have never enjoyed.
Stuff rubbish! I've received no favors. Why, the young lady doesn't even know whether I'm married or not.
Oh no, are you?
You see the young lady's concern, Captain Blunchley. Denial is useless. You enjoyed the pleasure of being accepted into her room late at night.
Yes, you blockhead, she received me with a pistol at her head. Your cavalry were at my heels and blown my brains if she'd uttered a cry.
What? Blunchley. Wait, is this true?
How dare you? How dare you?
Apologize, man.
I never apologize!
This is the doing of that friend of yours, Captain Blunchley. It is he who is spreading this horrible story about me.
No, he's dead. Burnt alive.
Burnt alive?
Shot in the hip in the wood yard. Couldn't drag himself out. You fellows' shells set the timber on fire and burnt him with half a dozen other poor fellows in the same predicament.
Oh, how horrible.
Then how ridiculous! Oh, war, the dream of patriots and heroes. A fraud, Blunchley, a hollow sham, like love.
Like love? You say that before me.
Come, Serenoff, the matter is explained.
A hollow sham, I say. Tell me, Captain Blunchley, would you have come back if nothing had passed between the two of you except the muzzle of your pistol? And you, Raina, you were wrong about his friend who was burnt. He was not my informant.
Who then? Luca! My maid, my servant? You were with her this morning all that time after... What sort of god is it that I have been worshipping? Do you know that I looked out of the window as I went upstairs to have another sight of my my hero, and I saw something that I did not understand then. I know now that you are making love to her!
You saw that.
Only too well!
Raina. Our romance is shattered. It's a farce.
You see, he's found himself out now.
Captain Blunchley, I've allowed you to call me a blockhead. You may call me a coward now as well. I refuse to fight you. You know why?
No. But it doesn't matter. I didn't ask you the reason when you cried out. I won't ask you when you cry off. I'm a professional soldier. I fight when I have to, and I'm very glad to get out of it when I haven't. You're only an amateur. You think fighting's an amusement.
Well, you shall hear the reason all the same, my professional. The reason is it takes men. Real men. 2 men. Men of heart and blood and honor to make a genuine combat. I could no more fight you than I could make love to an ugly woman. You've no magnetism. You're not a man. You're a machine.
Oh, quite true. Quite true. I always thought of that sort of chap. I'm very sorry. But now that you find out that life isn't a farce, but something quite sensible and serious, what further obstacle is there to your happiness?
You are very solicitous about my happiness and his. Do you forget his new love, Luca? It is not you that he must fight now, but his rival, Nicola.
Rival!
Did you not know that they are engaged?
Nicola! Our fresh abyss is opening! Nicola!
Yes, sir.
Ah! Viper. Viper!
Look here, Sir Nom, you're getting the worst of this.
Do you realize what he has done, Captain Blunchley? He has sent this girl to spy on us, and her reward is that he makes love to her.
False! Monstrous!
Monstrous? Do you deny that she told you about Captain Blunchley being in my room?
No, but...
Do you deny that you were making love to her when she told you?
No, but I tell
Is
you...
it unnecessary to tell us anything more? That is quite enough for us.
I told you were getting the worst of it, Sir Nom.
Tiger! Cat!
You hear this man calling me names, Captain Blunchley?
What else can he do, dear lady? He must defend himself somehow. Come, don't quarrel. What good does it do?
Engaged to Nicola. Well, Blunchley, you were right to take this imposter of the world coolly.
I dare say you think us a couple of grown-up babies, don't you?
He does. Swift civilization, nurse-tending Bulgarian barbarism.
Not at all. I assure you, I'm only very glad to get you two quieted. There now, let's be pleasant, talk it over in a friendly way. Where is the other young lady?
Listening at the door, probably.
I will prove that at least is a calumny. You see! Judge her, Blunchley! You, the calm, cautious man, judge the eavesdropper!
I mustn't judge her. I was listened outside a tent when it was a mutiny brewing. It's all a question of a degree of provocation. My life was at stake.
My love was at stake. I am not ashamed.
Your love? Your curiosity, you mean?
My love, stronger than anything you could feel, even for your chocolate cream soldier.
What does that mean?
It means
Oh, the ice pudding. A paltry taunt.
Excuse my shirt, please, gentlemen. Raina, somebody's been wearing that coat of mine. I'll swear it. Somebody with bigger shoulders than me. It's all burst open in the back. But your mother's mending it. I do hope she makes haste. I shall catch a cold. Is anything the matter?
No.
No.
Nothing.
Oh, that's all right. Anything the matter, Luca?
No, sir.
That's all right. Get my coat from your mistress like a good girl.
Oh, well, here it is, Papa. Give it to me, Nicola. Go put some wood on the fire for me.
They're going to be very nice to your poor old papa on his first day back from the war, huh?
How could you say that to me, Father?
Oh, come, little one. It's just a joke. Now give me a kiss. Mwah. Now give me the coat.
I'll put it on for you. Turn your back.
Very good, thank you. Oh, yes. All right, that's much better. By the by, I found something funny, but it was right here. Well, hello. What could... Your mother's taken it.
Taken what?
Oh, your photograph with an inscription. Raina to her chocolate cream soldier. A souvenir. Ooh, you know there's more to this than meets the eye. I'm going to find it out. Nicola!
Sir!
Did you spoil any pastry of Miss Raina's this morning?
You heard Miss Raina say that I did, sir.
I know that, you idiot. Was it true?
I am sure Miss Raina is incapable of saying anything that is not true, sir.
Are you? Well, I am not. Did you think I wouldn't see through this at once? Sergius, you are the chocolate cream soldier.
The chocolate cream soldier? Certainly not.
Not? Do you mean to tell me that Raina sends photographic souvenirs to other men?
Well, Petkov, the world isn't quite such an innocent place as we once believed.
It's all right, Major. I'm the chocolate cream soldier.
You?
The gracious young lady saved my life by giving me chocolate creams when I was starving. Shall I ever forget this flavor? My late friend Stokes told you the story at Pirot. I was the fugitive.
What Sergius? You remember how these two women went on this morning when we mentioned it? Aren't you a nice young woman?
Major Cernoff has changed his mind. And when I wrote that on the photograph, I did not know that Captain Blunchley was married.
I'm not married.
You said you were.
I did not. I positively did not. I was never married in my life.
Raina, would you kindly inform me, if it's not asking too much, which of these gentlemen you are engaged to?
To neither of them. This young lady is the object of Major Cernoff's affections at present.
Sergius, are you mad? The girl's engaged to Nicola.
I beg your pardon, sir. There was a mistake. Luca is not engaged to me.
What, not engaged? What, you scoundrel? You had 25 levers from me at the betrothal, and she had the gilt bracelet from Miss Raina.
We gave it out so, sir, but it was only to give Luca protection. She had a soul above her station, and I have been no more than her confidential servant. I intend, as you know, sir, to set up a shop later on in Sofia, and I look forward to her custom and recommendation should she marry into the nobility.
I am...
Well, this is either the most finest heroism or the most crawling baseness. Which is it, Blunchley?
Never mind whether it's heroism or baseness. Nicola's the ablest man I've met in Bulgaria. I'll make him a manager of the hotel if he can speak French and German.
I have been insulted by everyone here. You set the example, and you owe me an apology.
Oh, it's no use. He never apologizes.
Not to you, his equal and his enemy, but to me, a poor servant. He wouldn't dare refuse apologize.
You were right. Luca. Forgive me.
I forgive you. That touch makes me your affianced wife.
Oh, forgot about that.
You may withdraw if you like.
Withdraw? Never. You belong to me.
Luca! What is the meaning of this?
Catherine, it appears now that Sergius is going to marry Luca and not Raina. Don't blame me. I had nothing to do with it.
Mary, Luca, Sergius, you are bound by your word to us.
Nothing binds me.
Cernoff, your hand. My congratulations. These heroics of yours have their practical side after all. Gracious young lady. The best wishes of a good Republican.
Luca, you've been telling stories.
I have done Raina no harm.
Raina?
I have the right to call her Raina. She calls me Luca. I told Major Saranoff that she would never marry him if the Swiss gentleman ever came back.
Hello.
I thought you were fonder of him than of Sergius. You know best whether I was right.
What nonsense. I assure you, dear Major, dear Madame, the gracious young lady simply saved my life. Nothing else. She never cared 2 straws for me. Why, bless my heart and soul, look at the young lady and look at me. She's rich, young, beautiful, with imagination, full of fair princes and noble natures and cavalry chargers and goodness knows what. And I, a commonplace Swiss soldier, who hardly knows what a decent life is after 15 years of barracks and battles, a vagabond of a man, spoiled all his chances in life, though an incurably romantic disposition. A man...
Hey, wait, Bletchley. What did you say spoiled all your chances in life?
An incurably romantic disposition. I ran away from home twice when I was a boy. I went to the army instead of my father's business. I climbed the balcony of this house when a man of sense would have dived into the nearest cellar. I came sneaking back here to have another look at the young lady when any other man of my age would have sent the coat back.
My coat?
Yes, that coat. I mean, would have sent it back and gone quietly home. Do you suppose I'm the sort of fellow a young girl falls in love with? Why, look at our ages. I'm 44. I don't suppose the young lady's much over 17. All that adventure which is life and death to me was only a schoolgirl's game to her, chocolate creams and hide and seek. Here's the proof. Now I ask you, would a woman who took the affair seriously have sent this to me and written on it, Raina, to her chocolate cream soldier, a souvenir?
Oh, but that's what I was looking for. How the deuce did it get here?
I have put everything right, I hope, gracious young lady.
I quite agree with your account of yourself. You are a romantic idiot. Next time, I hope you will know the difference between a schoolgirl of 17 and a woman of 23.
You're 23?
Well, Bletchley, my one last belief is gone. Your sagacity is a fraud. You have less sense than I.
23? 23? Well, in that case, Major Petkoff, I beg to propose to formally become a suitor to adopt Han in place of Major Cernoff, retired.
You dare!
If you were 23 when you said those things to me this afternoon, I shall take them seriously.
Captain Bletchley, I'm afraid you do not understand our daughter's position or that of Major Sergius Cernoff, whose place you propose to take. The Petkoffs and the Cernoffs are the richest, most important families in the country. Our position is really historical. We go back almost 20 years. 20 years. Applause.
Never mind that now, Catherine. Bluntschli would be more than happy if it was merely a matter of your position, but hang it all, you know, Raina has become accustomed to quite a comfortable establishment. Sergius keeps 20 horses.
But what on earth is the use of 20 horses? Why, that's a circus.
Our daughter is accustomed to a first-rate stable.
Gosh, Mother, you're making me ridiculous.
Well, when it comes to a question of establishment, here goes. How many horses did you say?
20, noble Switzer.
I have 200 horses.
200?
How many carriages?
3.
I have 70. 24 of them will hold 12 inside, besides 2 on the box, not counting the driver and conductor. How many tablecloths do you have?
How the deuce should I know?
Have you 4,000?
No!
I have 9,600 pairs of sheets and blankets with 2,500 sided down boots. I have 10,000 knives and forks and the same quantity of dessert spoons. I have 600 servants. I have 6 palatial establishments, besides 2 lively stables, a tea garden, and a private house. I have distinguished 4 medals for distinguished service. I have the rank of an officer and the standing of a gentleman. I have 3 native languages. Show me any man in Bulgaria that can offer as much.
Are you the Emperor of Switzerland?
I have the highest rank known in Switzerland. I am a free citizen.
Captain Bluntschli, since you are my daughter's choice, I would not stand in the way of her happiness. And those are the feelings of Major Petkoff also.
I'd be only too happy. 200 horses! Phew.
So what says the lady?
The lady says that he can keep his tablecloths and his omnibuses. I'm not here to be sold to the highest bidder.
I won't take that answer. I appeal to you as a fugitive, a beggar, a starving man. You accepted me. You gave me your hand to kiss, your bed to sleep in, your roof to shelter me.
I did not give them to the Emperor of Switzerland.
That's just what I said. Now, tell us who you did give them to.
To my chocolate cream soldier.
That will do. Thank you. Time's up, Major. You've managed those regiments so well. You should be asked to get rid of some of the infantry of the Timor division. Send them home by way of Lon Polonka. Senna, don't get married until I come back. I shall be here punctually at 5 in the evening on Tuesday fortnight. Gracious ladies, good evening.
What a man. What a man.